Now, a Human Rights Watch investigation has analyzed one of the single deadliest Israeli airstrikes since the war began. It says 106 civilians were killed in October in what appears to be a war crime. Among the victims were at least 54 children. Israel hit a residential building south of the Nuseirat refugee camp on October 31st. But the report found no evidence of a military target in the vicinity. It also concluded that governments should suspend arms sales and deliveries to Israel. Let's speak to Tareq Azzoum about this. He's our correspondent in Rafah, southern Gaza. Remind us, Tareq, of this attack in Nuseirat in October and the circumstances around it which led to this conclusion by Human Rights Watch.
Yes, Folly. According to the investigation that has been carried out by the Human Rights Watch, it has concluded that a 6-story apartment building has been completely destroyed and that deadly Israeli airstrike had killed at least 106 Palestinians, including 54 children, as this building has been hosting evacuees and also the owners of this house that had been completely targeted, as there were children playing on the ground there, as also there are some residents charging their phones in the house that belongs to one of the Palestinian engineers that had been completely destroyed. And now that's absolutely terrifying, as the Human Rights Watch had carried out multiple interviews with eyewitnesses there on the ground who have been survived from the attack, saying that the entire building has been destroyed and targeted without any prior warning. And clearly the investigation has also finalized that there was any military target in the building in order to be destroyed, as the Israeli military till now did not provide any justification regarding this deadly attack. And that's absolutely a part of the ongoing military attacks that had been carried out since October, specifically that Israel has been attacking houses without warning its citizens to its residents to flee from, in order to avoid casualties among civilians, despite the Israeli repeated statements and claims that they are taking ultimate precautions in order to avoid casualties among civilians. And as everyone knows, that Israel has a long track record of crimes in times of war, specifically that we have been observing since the outbreak of this conflict, multiple incidents in which Israel had targeted civilians with high rates of casualties. Specifically, that the latest had been carried out on the Napulsi and Al Kuwait roundabout for 8 seekers. One of the also deadliest airstrikes had been carried out earlier in the war in Al Ahli Arab hospitals. And also we remember clearly the airstrikes that had targeted Jabalia refugee camp, where the Israeli military has been widely increasing and surging their military bombardment across the Gaza Strip with no let up till now, Folly.
And Tareq, the fallout continues from the attack on the World Central Kitchen aid workers. How has it affected aid delivery and aid distribution in Gaza?
Yes, in fact, the World Central Kitchen, this charitable organization, has been operating in Gaza since the outbreak of the fighting here in the territory, as they have been responsible for distributing aid for hundreds of thousands of Palestinian families, as according to latest reports that they have managed to distribute around more than 40 million meals on people in the south and even in the northern part, after making various coordination with the Israeli military. But the latest attack, in fact, has been carried out as Israel has been justifying it to be a completely grave mistake, and that was completely unacceptable from the side of this charitable organization. And that, in turn, had forced this organization to completely suspend its operations in Gaza, which negatively had impacted on the humanitarian situation, which was already aggravating, as it has been a wide class of the Palestinian community till now did not receive the latest shipment that had been transferred throughout the recently established maritime corridor, which means that more people won't be able to receive their aid. And that happens, in fact, after the Israeli military had denied the deliveries of aid by the United Nations to people in the northern part of the Gaza Strip, which means that it's a systematic approach being adopted by the Israeli military in order to starving people in the northern part of Gaza, to push them forward to the south, where people here are not also receiving much needed humanitarian supplies amid the high rates of population being right now trapped in Rafah. This city, which might be expected to be the next target for the Israeli military incursion if the negotiations regarding a ceasefire collapsed.
Thank you for the update. That's Al Jazeera's Tareq Azzoum reporting there live from Rafah in southern Gaza.